the sewer scope is being performed at 874 Judson Street in Highland Park. Access is in front. There's this little pathway. There's this big PVC clean out here. So you want to point out, right here you see this like white pole. It's a PVC pipe sticking up. It doesn't have a cap on it, but when it goes down, it curves out this way, which could possibly lead to your sewer line. We'll find out, but if that's the case, we want to put a cap on that. Let's begin. We're going to head towards the city connection, and we are in clay pipe. Right here, we can tell we actually have a major root penetration here. See if we can get past it. Okay, a little bit of a belly, and also we got more roots. Another major root penetration up in front. We got some more root penetration there. Another major one. More root penetration here. Another major one. More right there. Okay, we got another major one here. And another real major one here. I'm gonna push forward as far as I can and get to the city connect and go backwards. There's just a lot of roots in this line. Every time I push forward, all that debris that is kind of letting it build up in those lines because the roots aren't letting them go all the way out to the city connect, it's just covering my camera. So let's see if we can get to the city connect, and we'll just go backwards. If we can get past. You see as I'm dragging backwards and carrying roots with me. We have another major one in front of us right here. Oh, I'm going to locate where this is at, but you do have a major root penetration here. Let me pause and locate it, and then we'll bring the camera back out and head towards the interior. Okay, so this blockage is pretty much right, like if you're going from the cleanout straight towards the street, it's probably a couple feet before you hit the curb for the curb by the street. So it's still on the property. What we're going to do, we're going to back the camera on, hopefully get better views of everything. This definitely needs to get rotted out. I also want to see if we can see if that other pipe connects. That's a pretty major one right there too. Camera's covered with stuff with roots right now. Okay. Let me clear it off real quick. Yeah, roots and just cleaned off a little better. Yeah, it's got roots and worms. Yeah, I definitely recommend that this get rotted out and rescope, because there's worms getting in. We want to know the extent of like any kind of disconnect, any of those areas where the worms are really aggressive. Just want to make sure nothing's collapsed or broken. So we're going to head towards the interior. Camera cleaned off a little better. Okay, so we're in PVC. Here, I can't tell what kind of pipe we're in right now. I'm going to get to the end. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to turn on some water for a little bit, see if we get my camera lens cleaned off. We're at the end. So, like I said, I'm going to go outside, run some water, get my camera lens cleaned off, and we're going to work our way backwards from there. Okay, so got some water running. Bring the camera back out. That's a large amount of grease buildup. So we're at the clean out on the inside. I'm running the slop sink in the basement, but this grease should be removed as well. Okay, we're in cast iron pipe right now. So, just to give you an idea, so you see how open the pipe is now compared to where we just were. That's why we want to get rid of that grease, because it will close up on you sooner than you think. So another thing that's kind of going on, if you look at your, let's see if we get a better picture. So it's kind of hard to tell here, but if you look at your bottom right in the corner, see how it's almost like you see like it's a wider area, and then with the outline and everything, you look up, it's kind of like the same there. What's that called? It's called scaling. What happens is the inner walls of the cast iron pipe start rusting, and when it rusts, it kind of flakes off in like little pieces. Completely normal. It's part of what happens. But eventually, like, grease will build up on it, and like kind of like cause it to fall off if it doesn't fall off naturally because of its own of rusting. Like, it'll grab grease and everything else, and then eventually fall. Now these pieces are heavier than your usual debris that gets put into the toilet line or the sewer line. So it's harder for them to get flushed out to the city with normal day-to-day use. Since they're going to be in there removing the grease, they should come in here, remove the grease, remove the scaling issue we got going on here, and also the roots as well. But let's keep going backwards. We'll do a little final wrap up at the end.
I'll be back. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so what we got going on here, this is a cast iron house, cast iron pipe that's coming from the residence in the foundation out where it meets up with the PVC pipe. Now, what you see here, well, I think it's a PVC pipe. We'll go backwards and determine which pipe it's going into. So usually there's a connector that connects the two pipes together. One pipe will slide into another for a little bit, but then there's like kind of like a boot or some kind of connector to kind of seal them together or tie them together and then, seal it at the same time. Well, with these roots coming in, that's a sign that that connection has failed. The pipe is going into another pipe. Unfortunately, the thing is, roots are getting in, so chances are with all these other blockage, water is escaping. Now, it's about a couple feet from the foundation wall. I recommend a licensed plumber or sewer technician review this and determine what the next course of action will be if it's something that needs to be replaced. Let's move the camera back a little bit. So we're actually in, it appears to be clay pipe. Let's see. And that's that line you see right there. That's where the two clay pipes run together. So it's in, but the connection between the cast iron and the PVC has been compromised, and it's a little close to the foundation. Now, if you look at the picture I just took of it, this would be in the report of the location of this one. Like when you're on the ground and you're walking around that area, you do feel like an indentation in the ground. So it's possibly a sign that it's eroding already, the ground around it. Typically, you want any kind of connection in between, or ideally, when you transition from the interior pipe to the exterior, you kind of want it at like 4 feet away from the foundation, just in case there's something like this that goes on. The water's away from the foundation. It won't cause any harm to it. So let's keep moving backwards and see what else we got. We got some more root penetration here. Some more here. Now we're in the PVC portion. Now we're coming up. Alright, so let's do a little route follow-up. From the clean out I'm in, all the way out to the City Connect, you have clay pipe. There's a ton of root penetration and a root blockage towards the curb, probably about a foot away before you hit the curb. Now from the clean out, so that's all has to be routed out, and it's undetermined if that PVC pipe that we talked about earlier in this video when we started is connected or not. You just can't tell. There's a lot of roots. I still recommend it gets capped off, even if it's part of the gutter system. We don't want any debris falling in there. It's there for a reason. But as soon as we get it rotted out and rescoped, we can check the line and make sure that it is connected. Now, from the PVC pipe to the interior, we go PVC for a little bit, and then transfers into clay pipe. That clay section also has roots. We do have roots penetrating at the connection, at the transition connection between the cast iron and the clay pipe. Now in the clay pipe area, you do have some kind of scaling going on. It's very minor, but you do have that grease buildup all the way at the back. That should get removed. It's restricting the line opening. So basically the whole line needs to be maintenance and then rescoped, so we check out to see what the damage is in the clay area towards the street, and also determine that connection by the front between the cast iron and the clay pipe. All this should be done before a turning review. I definitely recommend that the rescope happens, whether it's by us or the company that rides out the line. Either way, that should get done before a turning review. If there's any further questions, please give us a call at Real Inspection Services. Our number is 312-724-5100.